Hey everyone, so this is Veronica Mars, season 1, episode 5, called You Think You Know Somebody. So, the entire episode is centered around um, Troy Vandegraff and um, and with him, Logan, and a friend of theirs named Luke going to Tijuana for, I guess, either like the weekend or like a day or something, or like a night or something like that. Um, and they're coming back home, and after getting back into the states, eating at a diner, and eating at a diner, Troy's father's car is stolen. So Veronica shows up to bring them back to their houses and stuff like that. And back in Neptune, she offers to help him get his car back. So turns out Luke has been running drugs from Tijuana back to Neptune for this uh, guy who, like, bodybuilder who works at a local gym, named Ziggy, and he wanted to run the drugs because of the fact that build up for he wanted to build up for um, baseball, varsity baseball, and so that's why he was doing that. Um, so he asks her for help to get the pinata back because otherwise Ziggy's gonna hurt him. So she's like, fine, okay, whatever. So she does everything she can to get the anti-theft tracking device turned on in the car. But she can't, so she asks her dad to do it for her. Um, and during this whole episode, she finds out that he's dating Rebecca James, her guidance counselor. Um, and eventually, things come to a head where she, like, before, um, he can give her the tracking number for um, Troy's father's car. They get into an argument about how she feels like, well, why are you dating when you could find mom within a week, find her within a week and bring her back within a week, and you can settle things then. Um, but he's like, well, why are you mad that I'm dating? You were the one that was hardest on your mother to begin with. So why do you didn't? So it's like you didn't even seem to care until that your mom was not here until I started fucking dating. So why are you mad? um, so and she's also upset because of the fact that she looked up Rebecca on the PI website that they use and finds out that I think she was married, um, or is still married. I don't remember. And she said that she found out that she passed bad checks. So, um, yeah. So he then gives her the code for the anti-theft website to track the car. They follow the signal and find that the GPS tracker is on a dog's collar. Um, so the next morning, Keith has found things on Troy, puts it in an envelope and lets Veronica see it. She confronts Troy with um, information she found out, which is that he used to do marijuana, and do like runs for marijuana or whatever, or like was a dope dealer or some crap like that. And his ex girlfriend Shauna used to be in on it. So she's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, well, maybe I would have told you after we've been dating longer than a fucking month. Um, so Luke comes up with the cash to pay Ziggy off since they can't find the drugs. Um, and she, pays Ziggy off. Ziggy said he'll take the money, but him and Luke aren't square. So she sends a picture out to local law enforcement about what he's doing, which is running drugs from Tijuana. So Troy, ends up getting kicked out of his house and being shipped off to boarding school in Albuquerque, and um, instead of going to the airport or whatever, he has the cabbie let him off at the diner that Luke, and Logan were at in the beginning of the episode. Gets what he thinks is the package full of steroids that he stole from Luke, so that he can sell them himself and get paid for it. And then when he leaves, he gets a call from Shauna saying that Veronica called her, and she let slip that she and him were in on this whole thing. Um, and there's a note from Veronica saying that um, the steroids. It took a while to figure out where he stashed the steroids. They figured it out because there was only one place he could have been alone, which was at the diner in the restroom. So she flushed the steroids down the toilet and filled the package full of pinata candy. Um, so he's obviously upset about it. Um, Ziggy, the whole Ziggy thing is resolved with him being arrested at the border for trying to get more drugs, and then Keith ends up breaking up with Rebecca because he realizes Veronica isn't ready to see him date anybody yet, anybody else other than his mother, or be in a relationship with his mother or her mother, um, and then another sort of plot line that was kind of pulled up in this whole thing um, is that Veronica or Keith puts together a um, box full of Leanne's old things, and in the box Veronica finds a safety deposit box um, that obviously belongs to Leanne. So she fakes a death certificate of Leanne for Leanne to go to the bank and have and claim that she um, is dead and needs to get into the sacred deposit box. In the box, she finds pictures of herself with a bullseye planted over her face, and there's several of these photos. So she realizes that um, she was wrong about the fact that her mother um, left because she couldn't handle losing everything. Um, it was more than likely the fact that she couldn't handle losing Veronica. So what Veronica does is um, she buys several disposable cell phones, and then um, what she ends up doing is she puts a cell phone in each or in an envelope and sends them off to family and friends to give to Leanne. And at the end of the episode, while Veronica's listening to music pretty loudly on her headphones, Leanne calls her from one of the disposable phones and leaves her a voicemail. Um, well, also the reason why she couldn't really hear is because the fact that the phone was on vibrate. But yeah, her mother leaves her a voicemail saying, I know you have questions, but I will tell you which phone it was I received so that you won't search for me and all this stuff. So that's how that ends. When I first watched this season, and for a while afterwards every time, and every time I would watch this season up until this point, after that first initial viewing, I didn't really like the Troy Vandergraff arc. Um, I still kind of don't really like it, but I like it more now because I realize it's what it does is it helps further Veronica's romantic life and how what we see later on. So, I mean, and I'll get more into um, minor characters and what I think of minor characters overall throughout the season in the last episode. But um, that's kind of what I thought of the Troy Vandergraff, um, you know, story arc for now. Um, until next time, I'll see you guys later.